We begin with a bombshell recording of indicted U.S. Congressman Duncan Hunter. In a private speech Monday night, Hunter alleged his Democratic opponent this November is part of an Islamic conspiracy to infiltrate the government.
Our 10 News reporter John Horn is live in the newsroom with this story. And John, the congressman was targeting his opponent, Campa-Najjar, in this accusation.
Yeah, Hunter touched on a variety of top-of-mind issues, including his support for President Trump, the border wall, and Supreme Court nominee Brett Kavanaugh. He even alleged a deep state inside the Justice Department. But when he turned his attention to his opponent, Campa-Najjar, he painted a picture of a religious conspiracy. Indicted Congressman Duncan Hunter didn't say much to our cameras outside the Hatfield Creek Winery Monday night.
This is government, so they move at the speed of government, which is really slow.
But he said plenty about the government to the Intermountain Republican Women Federated inside, which Times of San Diego reporter Ken Stone recorded.
There is a deep state. The Justice Department is corrupt, and that should scare you out of your minds.
Hunter and his wife Margaret have pleaded not guilty to 60 counts in federal court, including wire fraud and conspiracy over the misuse of campaign funds. The congressman now in a fight with Democrat Campa-Najjar to keep his seat in Congress this November.
My opponent's name up until about 3 months ago was Yasser Najjar, named after Yasser Arafat. I kid you not.
Hunter reminded the audience of about 70 that Campa-Najjar's grandfather was a mastermind behind the 1972 Munich massacre, in which terrorists killed 11 Israeli Olympic athletes. Najjar addressed that to our cameras earlier this year.
This is an individual who died 20 years before I was born. And here's what I do know. Unless you've met somebody, you don't know them. And if you don't know them, you can't represent them or what they stand for.
Hunter accused Campa-Najjar of changing his name before the election to sound, quote, Hispanic.
That is how hard, by the way, that the radical Muslims are trying to infiltrate the U.S. government.
Campa-Najjar's campaign fired back on Tuesday, calling these the desperate ravings of a congressman who has lost his grip on reality. The campaign says Campa-Najjar changed his name to Campa to reflect his mother's maiden name. It describes Campa-Najjar as a devout Christian raised by his single mother. Now, Campa-Najjar's campaign noted that while his legal name is new, he has gone by Campa-Najjar for years and worked with that name with security clearances for the federal government. Now, we reached out to Hunter's campaign and we're still waiting for a response. You can listen to all 35 minutes of that Hunter speech on our website, 10news.com. For now, live in the newsroom, John Horn, 10 News.